Aloha, I'm Chris.
And I'm Tammy.
Welcome to our home. Today I've got my new Hawaiian shirt on with Mickey. Glad y'all are able to join us. Tammy's got her Mickey shirt on. You just can't see it because the jacket's on over it. We're glad that you guys have chosen to join us tonight. One of the things we wanted to talk about was Shop Disney. If you've been on Shop Disney trying to buy especially limited release or limited edition merchandise, it can sometimes be, the word I want to use here is stronger than difficult. But to say the least, it's difficult. How many of y'all, if you don't mind commenting, how many of y'all have been online trying to buy things from Shop Disney? I'll kind of give you a rundown. We bought these back in January when they first came out. We actually had one of the people who pick these up for us in the park, and that was Mike. He picked us up 2 of them in the park, and so I just paid him the price from the park and moved on. And he happened to be at Disneyland during that time, and so that's what we did. And then in February, it was easy enough to get them. We didn't actually get up early enough to order them online, although when you did get up early enough, it was easy to order them online. But we got this one from Kelly and Vernon. And so we appreciated them trading it to us at a pin event, which that worked out very well as well. We had actually gotten 3 of these back in January. I bought one online, and then we got 2 from Mike, and we kept 2 and let someone else buy the one we bought online so that they could have one because they didn't get the one online. Then came March, and March was not as easy.
March was really hard.
And so this was the one we got in March. I think we just got the one because we tried to get more. And we just couldn't. And we couldn't.
We were only able to get the one. And, hi, Pinky. Hi, Becky, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you all very much. I've never bought off of Shop Disney, Pinky says. And Becky says, I have, and it usually leaves me crying in the fetal position. Yeah. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
It can be really frustrating.
So then after March came April. These were the April release. And these were
by far the worst.
Impossible to get. And I remember I wanted to get the Small World ears to go with them.
Not a shot.
That wasn't happening. Yeah. And so we did not get the Small World ears. And in April, when we ordered, we did get 2 of these. We ordered, I have a post office box and a mailbox. We use a mailbox for personal use, and the post office box we use mainly for managing Mickey. And so I order through the mailbox here, and Tammy orders through the post office box. It just kind of works out that way. If you were in the park, you could buy these, and you could buy them. Each person gets one, so I don't feel like that's anything wrong.
I don't think it's unfair that I should be able to order one, even though you're in the same house. I know I was on a website, and one of the girls said that she lives with her mom, but they live at the same address, and
they can only order one.
They can only order one. I feel like that's unfair. I feel like I don't know.
Well, I remember when we did these, I was trying to get the ears, and it wouldn't let me reorder the ears because it docked my account for it when I tried to pay, but it didn't process through. And so it wouldn't let me reorder the ears because of the card. And so that was very frustrating. And then now, as of this last weekend, there's the newest release. And if y'all have been paying attention on our Facebook page, we were able to get the pins and the ears. And so that was super cool. Well, we want to talk a little bit tonight about strategies we use to try and, overcome the difficulties of Shop Disney. And maybe you guys have some strategies you use also. And we're just going to talk about some generic things that have happened along that timeline maybe. So
we're thinking maybe we could help each other out. Yeah. Maybe y'all have a strategy that's really great, or maybe we have something that can help you.
Right.
But definitely maybe some ways we can talk about being able to get some of these pin releases, especially while the parks are closed. It's such a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to get them, because Shop Disney's different for like the Minnie Mouse, the main attraction, but some of the special LEs that they're offering online, we wouldn't normally have the opportunity to get unless you happen to be at the park or know someone's going to be at the park at that time.
Now we generally do know people at the park, and they'll do pickups for us on a lot of stuff. Not all things, because sometimes it's special ticketed events and you really have to usually sponsor somebody to go to those if you're not able to be there, that sort of thing. I'm talking about like pin trading nights. Going back to these, since this seemingly has been one of the major contentions, is this Minnie's Main Attraction set. Along through the process, the January and Februaries were not too terrible. Although they did sell out, it wasn't such the rush all at once on Shop Disney. So we're not going to go back and talk about those too much, but we can talk about the March, April, and now the May one. And just kind of talk about some of the improvements or wannabe improvements of Shop Disney along the way. Yeah. So in March, when the crash of the site happened, people were trying to buy them.
I mean, it took us, what was it?
It took us 2 hours
to get those?
2 hours to get these. And I was just like flabbergasted at how bad it was.
Yeah.
And it was just painstaking to try and get them. And I don't know any other way to describe that. But this particular set we bought and we struggled with, and they went back to the drawing board, Shop Disney, and tried to revamp some things and fix it up. Well, then comes April. And in April, when these came out, it was like 15 minutes and everything was sold out, supposedly. That's really not true, because we were after these for an hour and a half and still got them.
Yeah.
So I would say tip number one is don't give up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It may take some time to make it happen, but don't give up.
Even if it says that it's sold out,
it's not always sold out.
You can always keep trying, because I know that happened to us. It would say it was sold out, and then we would continue to try, and then
eventually it broke free and we were able to order some more.
And the only reason I continued to try was because someone was on I don't remember if it was Disney Insiders or some Facebook group, but somebody had said that they had done that, and I thought, well, I'm going to try. Right. So
our tip number one, if you're taking notes or anything, is we would say don't give up. Keep trying if you really want the pins. Now, when it comes to the ears and the other things, those are not always as easy to get. I feel like a lot more of the pins available, or they just don't sell out as fast as the ears.
Yeah.
If you're after ears, here's my suggestion to you. And this comes off of the newest release that just came out, because as I told you, we didn't get these ears, but we did the new ones. What I would do is go to Shop Disney, and as soon as you go to putting things in your cart, the first thing you should load are the ears, and then load the pins, and then go directly to checkout.
There's two of us, and so if for some reason he was unable to get the pins, we were okay with it because I was trying for the pins.
Right.
So it makes it a little easier when there's two of you
right.
to kind of to do that. But I mean, definitely go for what's more important to you. And the ears seem to sell out the quickest.
They do. And so, but they also seemingly go in value way up real fast compared to everything else. And so that was kind of my idea, was I wanted to just get the ears so that we could use them for traders.
There are some ears.
Tammy liked
I was going to say, there are some ears that I'm not going to, if we get, I'm not going to.
We probably would have kept these ears. That was my thought.
Small world, maybe.
But the current set, I wasn't as keen on, and she wasn't either.
Yeah.
But I know there are a lot of people who really love the Tiki Room and wanted that set of ears, and so that was the reason I wanted to try for them, if nothing else. I mean, after all, I'm already spending my morning getting up early enough to do that, and making sure my time's set aside for it. So why not? Going back to the bots. So on this particular release in April, there were lots of bots. Hey, Miranda, I'm going to guess your appointment that you had to go to went okay. This was a difficult release because they say there were a lot of bots that swooped in. And since this release, the bots even got worse.
Mm-hmm. Well, because from some of the articles I read, people who were unable to get some of the items have gone on and they're paying people to get the bots so that they can then get the items. So
what a bot is, just in plain kind of simple English, is it's a computer robot type program that will go in and order and pay and do all that ahead of time, or not ahead of time. They have all that stuff figured out. And then as soon as it opens, it goes through and just orders it right away. So there's no time wait. It's not like me being a human. I come along, I go, oh, there's the ears. Oh, I made a mistake. I hit the wrong button. I got to go back. And it's 1 second. Boom, 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 boom. And then it's done. That's right. On the May the 4th day, the bots were so bad that it bought everything up like almost instantaneously. Yeah. And so we actually had not overslept, but we just kind of forgot. That May the 4th was a big pin release.
Well, there was only one pin that you wanted anyhow.
There was.
And you didn't just love it. So
right. So we didn't get up early for it, and we didn't end up with any of those. Well, these chickens are going crazy tonight. But those bots caused this particular one to be hard. And then this last time, what was that, the Saturday? Mm-hmm. This last Saturday, when they did the new May one with the Tiki Room, they had a, a waiting room that they had set up where when you click in, you go directly into a waiting room. And while in the waiting room, you would get the in line basically. And then eventually, as the line progressed, you would be given 10 minutes to get into the site and do what you need to do. And then if you're on there longer than 10 minutes, you're booted. You have to start all over in the waiting room. So it kind of gave you a little bit of leeway. The problem was, as soon as it went live, the whole thing crashed. And so the waiting room was a joke. And it was free for all. And the bots were crazy. And they bought tons of stuff up. And I want to say they said within 60 seconds, the ears were sold out. I just happened to have already put them in, had them in my basket, moved straight. I cared nothing about anything but pins and ears.
Wow.
So that's exactly what I did.
Becky said she never even got out of the waiting room Saturday. Waited 1.5 hours. You know, Chris and I
We're going to give you that tip here in just a minute, because that happened to me too. Mm-hmm. But let me explain. So I was in and out of Shop Disney on Saturday morning in 12 minutes. Yeah. The whole process.
Now it slowed down whenever he went to go pay.
When I went to pay.
So he had it all in his basket
within
in
a minute.
A minute. It was so fast.
But then I kept having to try to purchase. And I used my phone and used the app.
And we normally use our computers instead of our phones because just a better internet connectivity and things like that.
Well, now I'll explain why I did it that way, and it'll help you out, Becky. So what I decided on Saturday morning from the frustration of before is I got my computer out and I set it up, and then I had my phone in my hand and I tried to log on with the computer and it said waiting room. Well, then I thought, well, I might as well get in line twice just in case something happens. So I got my phone out and got in to get in line again, and it let me directly in. And so it bypassed the waiting room altogether. And so that's when I made my purchase, because it was right at 9 o'clock on the money. Mm-hmm. And so, because that's our time when it hits here is our 9 o'clock. And so I went straight in.
So sorry.
Y'all just went on the dinosaur ride.
Sorry.
And so we went in right away. I just clicked through, and then I spent the next 10 minutes trying to hit the pay button. And I want to say just a few minutes after I hit and got through with mine, there had a major crash.
Yeah.
And it was like done for 30 minutes. Nobody was saying they did anything online. Let's catch up on some comments here, Tammy.
Oh, well, down to Melissa. Melissa said the app threw me out saying my ID was invalid. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it did that to Tammy too.
It
several
did. I
times.
was so incredibly frustrated. I spent an hour, an hour, just getting the pin set is all I was able to get.
But Tammy did the same thing once she saw it work for me and started using phone and computer.
Well, I made a mistake though. When I was on my computer, I was on about, I don't know, I get on about 20 minutes ahead of time, kind of surf and just look around. And about 5 minutes in, it stuck me in a virtual waiting room. And then, like, I don't know, 4 minutes in, it kicked me out of the waiting room. And I told Chris, oh my goodness, it's like making me shop now. So I was in a panic trying to hurry up and shop because they say you only have 10 minutes to be on the site to shop.
Right.
Well, then I had saw the pins pop up. And when I clicked on it, it like went away. I couldn't find it.
Now, let me explain. That was at 59, at like 8:59 our time.
Yeah.
And that happened to me last time in the April set like this. And so I feel like I've learned a lesson there. If it comes up at 8:59 and it looks like you can click and go into it,
don't click it immediately.
Don't click it. Wait the minute and 15 seconds or whatever until that clock switches to 9 or to whatever time it is whenever it comes live on your time zone. When that comes live, then go ahead and click. And what it'll do is it'll push you through, or it did me this time, and it gave me free access to everything real quick. And I was able to just go add, move along, go to the payout, check. And I already had all the thing that slowed me down. I probably would have been out in 3 minutes. But what slowed me down was I have an old credit card on file. And so I had to change the credit card payment. And I have both on file, but for some reason it didn't update to be my new card. And so it wouldn't let me pay with the old one, obviously. So I had to then tell it to use the new card. And that took 5 minutes or something. And then to try and process it after that, it had already bogged down. So I really feel like it's like a super timing issue. Now, I don't know. In June, maybe they have the waiting room fixed. If you've ever used the Disney waiting room, it's not bad. Being a DVC member, here's how it works. I've used it before. When you log on, you click on DVC, there's a button that you click on to get in line. I can't believe they don't have that for Shop Disney. They should have a button instead of it auto dumping you in there. But you click on it on DVC, and then it comes up and it says you're in waiting room and your customer number whatever of how many ever. And it may be your customer number 600 of 3,000. Now what I was in line for on DVC is doing a Moonlight Magic, which is like a free DVC after hours party. They do a handful of them a year, maybe 8, 10, something like that. And if your vacation falls while you're there, it's worth doing. It's a lot of fun. They give you free Mickey Premium bars. I mean, it's a lot of fun. But you have to be a DVC member, and then you have to get in line, and you have to make it through that line, and you have to get in line early enough that you make it through in time to get one of the limited accesses that day.
Yeah, because they typically, depending on the event, like this event only allowed 3,500 people.
Yeah, something like that.
In the whole park.
And it was in Epcot, and they did half of Epcot. Yeah. And it was a super good time.
So much fun.
I think we may have a video somewhere of it. That's probably the most favorite thing I've ever done at Disney, to be honest.
Favorite.
But that's how the waiting room worked there. This virtual waiting room was nothing like that. This particular virtual waiting room that we were in for the newest pins, it was terrible. It had no number. It didn't tell you where you're at in line. It told you nothing about any of that, or at least the one I was in.
Yeah.
And my computer, just to let you know, Becky, it never changed from the waiting room. Because when I got in with my phone, I just stayed with it. And so after about 10 minutes, I hit the refresh because I didn't think my other was going to actually let me, pay for it. But then it did just a few minutes after I hit the refresh. What does Miranda say? I have never tried Shop Disney, but sounds like a bigger headache than it's worth. Of course, we aren't super big in Disney buying yet, though Lily really wants to start doing more pin trading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Miranda, just to let you, like, to give you an idea, you know, depending on the pins that you purchase, like these pins, this may be a bad example.
This is a great example.
This is a good example.
So these pins originally $19. And so if you go on eBay right now, and this is part of the good and the bad of these people who buy on eBay. Let's just face facts. They buy lots of the pins up, so we average everyday collectors don't get them, and then we have to pay crazy amounts for them. But when we do get those pins like these are worth like $80. And so in just a few months, the value of the pin went from $20 to $80. And so I know the pins from yesterday or from Saturday went from in the morning where I bought them at $20. By that night on eBay, they were listed for $60 and $80 for that little set of pins. And that's just what it is. And so in one aspect, we hate those people who buy all the pins up because we can't ever get them. But at the same time, it's almost like a double-edged sword. You know, although it cuts us negatively in that aspect, it cuts positively in the pin values go through the roof.
Yeah.
And I would love to just say, well, it's Disney and these things, and it's just sorry shop Disney, and that's the way it is. But if you ever do the soda shop pins from California, same story. They sell out so fast that the value of the pin is like 3 times the value just an hour after you've bought them. And so it's good, but it's bad. And so you just kind of got to roll with the punches and accept the good with the bad.
And it all depends on how badly you want the pin set. So for us, we love park attractions. It's one of our favorite things. That's why we started collecting this set. And as it's a super big headache every third Saturday, I know I have to wake up early and I got to fight for a pin set. And thankfully, so far, we've been able to get a pin set every single time. But I don't know if depending on how their website works that day, I don't know if I'm going to get a pin set next time or not. Who knows? I mean,
that's right. And you may be the one paying the $80 for
and
a set
I may
of pins.
be that person. That's right.
I'm probably not going to feel like paying $80 for a set of pins unless it happens to be like the last set that we need.
The one you don't have.
And then it'll be more intriguing to do so. I
know a lot of people said they gave up. They said, this is too much. I'm done with this. And a bunch of people got rid of their sets. I saw them on all kinds of Facebook groups. Yeah. Last month. So.
And then next month they come out and they'll buy some more. That's the way it works. But take this set, for instance. We have the 2. I wanted to just do a shameless plug here. When we hit 250 subscribers, we're going to give one of these sets away. So if you're one of those people who would like a set like this, be sure and make sure you've liked and subscribed. And then also be there for that giveaway, and we'll put you into the drawing twice. But this is a great pin set that we're going to be giving away. And the only reason we're able to give it away is we bought 2 back when they first came out. And they're beautiful pins. That's to me so far, that's the best looking pin set.
It's really pretty.
That there has been.
I love these though. I thought these were really pretty.
They are. But I like the way this pin turned out in just detail compared to that
pretty,
one.
Yeah.
That's myself.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would, that's what I consider to be a good fun set to collect. But where were we at? Going back to Shop Disney.
You want to give them another tip?
Yes. Go ahead.
I don't have one.
All right. So I gave you the tip about the phone. Being sure to have the app. I don't think I said this. Be sure and have an app for Shop Disney. Have all your information logged in the app. Now, it may not work any better.
Tip. I do have a tip.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can I finish this one?
You can finish
She's
it.
eager to give you all another tip. So be sure and have all your info in there log in to your app or use your app so that you don't have to fill all that information in. Because every second that you have to spend time filling stuff in is that much more time for it to get bogged down.
But I will say this, whether or not you have signed in or not signed in, I can't tell you how many times that I've signed in and it's booted me out and made me just put in guest information. So
it does happen.
That happens too, and that's extremely frustrating. That was part of the reason why I spent an hour last time constantly it would sign me in and then it would randomly boot me out.
Right.
And then one time and then it would randomly sign me in. It was like back and forth. So it was very frustrating.
Another tip that I used to think was great, and I don't know if it is or not, but if you're buying enough pins that you're going to get that free shipping, before you start shopping, if you can get in there without a what is that room called? A waiting room. If you can get in there without being waitlisted, then you can add something more expensive to your cart. That way you can already have that code in your cart. And then when you add your stuff, just take that other item out.
The way that you said that if you buy a high amount, so that you don't have to give shipping, that means you've got a lot of things.
Well, you have to spend $75.
Right.
It's usually $75 as a minimum for free shipping. But my tip is this. I say if you have the ability to be on your computer and on your phone, I feel like that's more of that kind of ensures your chances a little bit better.
It helps.
So I feel like I know whenever I'm doing it, he had his computer, I had my computer, and we both had our phones out. And I was like, whichever one opens me into the waiting room, gets me out of the waiting room first, that's where I'm going to go with that, or at least try. But I was going to say this too. You have to be really careful about hitting that button to check out.
Now let's talk about that.
Because we saw someone who had like what was it, like $3,000 charges, like crazy amounts of charges. Well, because
what happens is when you hit that pay button, sometimes, especially if it comes back, we figured this out. If it comes back and it says, "Oops, we've encountered a problem,"
yes,
then they've just charged you.
Or it says, "Oh bother."
Oh bother. That's the one.
It's got Winnie the Pooh and it says, "Oh bother."
That means they tried to process it and something happened in the processing system. Yeah. They've probably authorized your card and taken a hold on the money, and then they did not send you a confirmation. And I'll bet if you guys will comment, I'll bet you several of you have had that happen. Be expecting that to happen.
I tell Chris, check our account. We check it constantly. Like, did it go through? How many times are we being charged? Because I don't want thousands of dollars on our account to be charged over. That's frustrating. Becky said, "I thought I'd never hate Winnie the Pooh."
But you do when
you see that, you're like, oh,
yeah. And
darn.
So what happens when you charge like that is they put that hold on that money. And let's say you're using a card and maybe you only have $500 in that account and you're buying, because I don't like to use a big account with my online purchases just because somebody stole my account. They could take bigger amounts of money. But if you do that and you have $500 in there and you do 10 of those charges, well, if you didn't get it in those 10 charges at $63 or $68, you just lost it. I mean, you didn't even get to 10. They just took all your money.
Yeah.
And so they hit us 4 charges this last time on Saturday. And so we got charged or authorized 4 times. So they did 4 holds.
And how long did it take them to remove it?
They still haven't removed it. So that's where that's at. Yeah. We've got 4 authorizations on our account.
But they shipped my pins today. So hopefully they'll be taking that off.
I think I've been there.
Well, it'll be probably another day or 2, and then they'll drop the ones that didn't ship.
Yeah, I got a confirmation for mine shipped today. So
I've not gotten a confirmation on mine, and I paid for mine first. Yeah. So
I don't know that always matters.
I don't think it does.
I think I've been there every single time y'all ordered pins, or at least most of them.
To be honest, here's what I think happens at Shop Disney. They have your pins, they have a box, and they just rake it in there, throw a little plastic in there, zip it shut, and shoot it out the door. If your pins make it, good for you. If they don't make it, they don't care.
Well, the good thing about the mini main attraction pins are you don't have to worry about the castle pin that was hinged.
Yeah, those broke a lot of them.
Tons of people's got
We got ours,
broken.
and it wasn't broke, but a lot of people's were.
But these are in plastic wrap.
Yeah.
And so, and the majority of the time they've come in like a bubble mailer. Well, I wouldn't call it a bubble mailer, but it's like that thin, like plastic mailer. And so, you know, that to me, your pins don't seem to get damaged as easily.
Right. When the Stitch I Collect series came out, I was really concerned because I saw online all over the place people would get their box, they'd open it up, and their pins would just be scattered all throughout. And ours were too. Yeah. They were just all over the box.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing was broken, thank goodness. Other people, some of theirs were busted.
Although we had a pin that came off the card. It was just
multiple.
Thrown in there. I mean, we were just thankful that our pin wasn't all scratched up. I could not believe that Shop Disney shipped them like that.
But they did.
Yeah.
And then, you know, other things they package in. I used to think they only had that one size box. You know, that box that's like this big by this and about this tall. Everybody's seen it. They'll send one pin in the thing. But they have multiple size boxes. I've gotten multiple size boxes from them. And so I don't understand their logic there. Maybe the guy's just too lazy to walk over and get a new box or a smaller box or whatever. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But not to be an all bash Shop Disney day, but I mean they've got a lot of work ahead of them to try and do better. Reading several articles, they're about to come out with the what series is that about Mickey Mouse that they're going to be releasing, and they're going to release it on Amazon instead of Shop Disney, and they're doing that because Amazon's better equipped. I mean, Shop Disney just can't hang with it, and they're expecting it to be a very large release, and just they can't keep up with that kind of demand. Never in my life would I have thought pin collecting would be this kind of intense shopping online. And, you know, to be honest with you, on the days when I think we've missed 2 or 3 orders, right?
Yeah.
Since all this, and the 2 or 3 orders that we would have wanted to get in on, after missing them, I was just like, man, I'm thankful I missed the stress. I was actually glad to have missed the stress. And so I look for opportunities when they put something up that nobody knew was about to be a release. That seems to be good. You know, such as whenever they released the this week, they put out the castle.
Yeah.
And it's in the shape of the American flag. That's a super cool pin.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for our Facebook groups because so many times I get online and I'm like, I'm just going to take a 5-minute like little breather break, and I'll get online and I'll be like, oh my goodness. I'll message Chris. I'll be like, oh my goodness, look what's available on Shop Disney because somebody posted it. So it's so helpful whenever we see that. So we always try and pass that information on when we see that they've got some sort of sale on something. So I'm always appreciative of seeing that. But they had some really cool pins this week.
So I'm going to show y'all. They had this one. I don't know if y'all can see that, which I think is a super cool pin. And then they had this villain pack. I don't know if y'all can see that very well. And then they had this Stitch series. And they had this Hercules. And then they had this one, which I almost regret not buying. I didn't buy this one. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw it.
And then they had this Cheshire Cat. And all these were ones that went up without any warning, really. At least I didn't see any for them. And so when you can find those days, and here's the last one. When you find those days when those go up like that, even though a lot of them are open-ended pins, you know, it's just fun to get those, and you can order more than one. So
yeah, and they're not limited editions. So most likely Disney's gonna just keep making more of them. So.
But you know, like I feel like that castle pin is going to be a good trader. It's Americana, which is always popular, especially at the parks. And then it's the castle. I mean, what's more iconic than that? So I bought 4 of them just so I can trade them in the park and stuff, because I think I'll get really good trades out of it. But I want one to keep, obviously. But
Melissa said, I can't wait for the stores to open. I've been blessed to always get a number. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I was reading an article earlier talking about how, at least in the store, or if you're, waiting in line to get a pen, that, hey, I may have to get up at 3 a.m., but I can get there and like get in line. And like you said, you've always been blessed to be able to get a number. So I feel like, that you put in the work, or I wouldn't call it the work, but you put in the effort to get there early. So, you're going to get the pen.
And when you're in person in the store, you can buy 2 of them.
Yeah.
They don't limit you to 1. That's some new junk for Shop Disney.
Yeah. We can't wait for the stores to open too. It's
just not right if you spend the time to be there that you have to be limited to just 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
feel like I'm on the toilet paper aisle.
It's just ridiculous. And just like Melissa said, plus the shipping issues. I mean, then every time you order, you're wondering, is my order going to be canceled? Are they going to oversell? And are they actually going to ship me my item? And then when they ship you your item, how's it going to be packaged? Is it going to get there safely? Or is it going to get lost in the mail? Or is someone going to steal it from your porch or whatever? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen tons of things online. So,
and the other thing is, you have all that anticipation. I've spent my $100 on pens, but it's going to be a month before I get them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, literally, it'll be 3 weeks.
I know sometimes we forget and we're like, oh yeah, our Shop Disney's
I got
here.
This in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I hope it's not broke. That's the first thing rolls through your head when you see it.
Chris, we were talking earlier about the series that was going to be released on Amazon, and it's called You're the Mouse Mickey Plush series. That's going to be released on Amazon because they feel like it's going to be too big for Shop Disney to handle. So
yeah,
or at least according to the person who wrote the article. So anyhow,
that's that. So in conclusion, we'll go back and we're just going to, for those who've joined us since the beginning, and thank y'all for the 4 likes tonight. We want to go back and just touch note on a few of our major tips that we would say we've utilized. And please, by all means, if you're not afraid of losing your tip to the other folks who watch, which isn't going to be a drastic amount, hopefully one day it will be, but be sure and comment your tip too. Maybe you can help, one of the other people here in our pen trading family be able to pick up their pens that they would like to get, or their ears or whatever. Maybe they're after the plush. I don't know what everybody's after, but let's look at those one more time. First off, I would use my phone and my computer at the same time. That way, if one of them gets locked down and messed up where you can't get anywhere, you can always turn to the other one and start using it. And so that might get you through and get you what you're needing. Second thing I would say that that's also causing more grief on their server and their system, and it is. But at the same time, everybody else is doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. That'd be like telling the government you don't want the stimulus check because you don't think they should have given it out. Well, you're also everybody else is going to take it. If you don't take it, then you're still going to have to pay it back with your tax dollars. It's not like the government's giving you any money. It was your money to begin with. So I would just say, if you want the pen, you're going to have to be down and dirty about getting it. So if you have to use 2 devices to get through to place your one order, I don't see a problem with that. I'm not going to stop trying to do it that way. Second thing, use the app, at least on the phone one. That way you can already have all your info in there and try and process faster. To me, that's a very important tip. The faster you can process, the better. Get on there, and if you can get in and get the picture up before 9 a.m., because like I said, 2 months in a row that's happened at like 58 or 59 before the hour of the open, it would come up. And if you clicked on it, it was gone for like 3 or 4 minutes. You couldn't get it to come back up on your computer. So my suggestion is wait till it hits 9 and count to maybe 15 or 20 and then go in. And it was open for me this time, and I was able to just skyrocket through it. So I would I would suggest that being a method that you might use. And did you have one other than that?
I can't remember.
Okay, well, it's been a long day. Let's see. Did anybody else have one that y'all wanted to share? I'm going to guess no. I don't see any popping up. So hopefully that helped. Let us know if you think that was a big help to you. Let us know. Here's a better thing. If next month you get in there and you try one of these tips and it helps you, let us know. We want to know if you were able to be more successful off of the tips we gave, or if it doesn't work out for you and there's some big problem, let us know of that also. I mean, we just want to help you guys if we're at all able to. We're not experts. We're not anything more than other participants of the same problem. But it seemed like our way improved over the last 2 times. And so we wanted to share that with y'all and hopefully help y'all improve your success rate also. And so we do appreciate y'all for joining in and, talking to us and giving us so much feedback. And we hope that you guys are able to get all the pins you're looking for when you're on Shop Disney, and even the others. I know it's not just Shop Disney. If anyone else was online today on loungefly.com, the new Loungefly release of Stitch sold out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was a nice set.
And it was all bots too. So Shop Disney is not the only one getting bombarded. And so let's not just throw that on them, but it may just be a wave of what we have to deal with during this quarantine business. And so we do appreciate y'all and thank y'all. And until next time,
from our house to yours.